Welcome back to Two Witches Talking with Megan and Morgan. I am Megan, and I am here with my lovely co-host, the ever witchy Morgan Moss.
Hello.
Hello, how are you today, my dear?
Good.
Good.
I'm good.
And we're already in
Yeah.
spooky season, even though we're recording this in September still.
No, it is spooky
Yeah,
season.
we're in it.
Yeah.
I love
Yes.
it. I love it. Yeah, if y'all are watching the video, you will see that. What does yours say? I can't remember what you said.
Mine says I'm practicing dark arts and crafts.
Yes,
And it's a little kitty cat.
and like sitting in like a pentagram and like knitting or crocheting.
Yep. Yep. With candles all
It's
around
so
it. So yeah.
cute. It's so cute. And mine is a cryptid shirt that is like more like a band shirt. So it's got like all like the event info at the bottom and all that. So yeah, so when Morgan messaged me and was like, "Hey, how about dark magic for today's episode?" I said, "This is perfect." So that's what
Yeah.
we're diving into because spooky season.
Yes.
And the dark part of the year, right? So, yes.
Yeah.
So you want to kick us off?
Yeah. So I guess I just wanted to talk about like different practices that can be considered dark magic.
Yeah.
But then also some practices that aren't really dark magic that a lot of people want to tell you are dark magic.
Ooh, yes. Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. Right, because like dream magic always strikes me as dark magic because it's nighttime and it's
Yeah.
dream work and that ties really close to shadow work. And goodness knows, like there's most of the time there's no darkness there at all. It's
No.
just exploring like your subconscious and all that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And
I'm
I
excited.
think personally, I don't think banishing jars, banishing spells, like I don't think that that's dark magic. But I know that there's a lot of witch talk that would say otherwise. They would try to tell you that any type of magic cast against a person is like a dark magic, but I'm like, I don't know if that person's being a dick and I don't want them in my life anymore and I just want to banish them and put up a nice protective boundary between me and them.
Yeah.
I don't see how that's dark magic. That's just my perspective though.
That to me is kind of like if you've had somebody over at your house and they were acting like a complete fool and being a jerk, and you said, "You know what? You're not welcome here anymore. You need to leave." Like it's energetically the same thing as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you just don't, you either remove their phone number from your phone or block it, or, you just take other steps to making sure that that person doesn't have contact with you or can't affect you in any way anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. No, I'm with you that putting bitches in jars, as we like to say around here. That's such a protective thing to me. And it was interesting because I posted about that on my TikTok, and I had a commenter that was like, "Oh, I think that I've got, somebody put this on me. It was like a Native American practitioner, da da da." And I was like, "I have no idea." Like she was like, "Do you think that's what this could be?" I'm like, "I don't know." And I would ask a Native American practitioner about Native American magic and all that. But I did tell her that no matter what practice the other person has, you can always do a cord cutting. You can always do protection magic. So, and the thing is like you may not need to know. In a lot of cases, you don't need to know who's sending you bad vibes. Like you could just tell there's some bad vibes and it's like, let's just put this barrier in place and maybe do like a little transmutation spell on your name. I'm loving that lately is, anytime you speak my name, blessings come my way. So it doesn't matter if it's done in a baneful sense or a positive sense. It all works for your good. So, and I think that's something that's really important is like, if you have a specific cultural question, like, please don't come to us for hoodoo or voodoo questions or Native American questions. Like, we're going to direct you elsewhere. It's like, you need to go talk to somebody that practices that because I have no idea. And it's not my place to comment on it. So, Yeah, but a lot of these things, all the topics we talk about span and they're open to cultures around the globe and all that. So, shadow work, banishing, hexes, spell jars, freezer spells, all these things. It's like you go for it. Enjoy.
Yep. And reversals, that's another
Yes.
one where a lot of people are like, if you definitely are either Wiccan, who Wiccans do, abide by the law of three, or whatever you put out comes back to you. So a reversal spell is a real nice loophole in that. Like if you're like, oh, I don't want to do anything against that person, like, okay, well, if you just send back to them, like it's either called a reversal spell or a return to sender. If you think someone is sending you some shit or has cast against you and you just send it back to them,
Yep.
then if they weren't doing shit in the first place, they wouldn't have it coming back to them. So it's a lovely little loophole for those who are like, I don't want to do anything bad against people. Like, okay, well, a reversal spell is just sending their own shit back to them.
It's kind of like a mirror box spell, which I just love. I love a mirror box. Just like put them in a box with mirrors on the inside so they can think about what they have done. And they're reflecting back to themselves based on their own actions. So, yeah. Seriously, like a lot of this stuff isn't baneful. It's protective in a lot of ways.
That just reminds me of when we were kids. The I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever you say bounces off me and sticks to you.
Yes.
Like, look, that's an actual spell.
It's a spell.
I will. I'm like that guy, that meme that's sitting behind the table with the cup of coffee with the big sign.
Yeah.
That's me. That is a spell. I will die on that hill. That's a spell.
Oh, it totally is. No, a lot of the things that we said like that when we were little, like none of them are coming to mind right now, but they're little spells.
The other, sticks and stones may break my bones, but
Words
can never hurt me.
That's kind of a protection spell,
That kind of is, especially if you think someone is speaking against you, like speaking, gossiping about you. That's probably a good one you could use.
We would say, I know you are, but what am I?
That's just
kind of return to sender. Yes. Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like that's a return to sender. That's you're the asshole. Now what am I?
I love it. See, anytime you can add fun to your witchcraft practice too, like if you had a little saying or something that you said as a kid, think about it now and be like, wait a minute, was that, 'cause they're easy to remember, because a lot of them rhymed or they were just catchy, and think about the word, like think about if they're powerful now or if they hold more to it than what you originally thought as a kid.
Yeah. And seriously, something as simple as I know you are, what am I? Like, that's confidence right there. And anytime you add confidence to a spell, it's like, oh, it's a little extra boost.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So, and then we can get into some of the more baneful things with like creating war water, right? That was something I jotted down, which is all kinds of fun. Or, like I did, I have my little jar right over here next to me of my full moon eclipse water. And I wrote on the lid for chaos.
I love that.
So, just in case. Can never be too prepared. But creating ingredients or potions and waters and things for self-defense and protection and wards. I am so into like the cool intricate wards people put up in their places, like their homes and their businesses and all that. I'm like, I want to do that. But I know that my house is so chaotic that like a bowl of like oils and water and herbs somewhere would just get hit or something, like a dog toy flying or I don't know, a 20-year-old coming down the stairs. But I think they're really cool.
That's why I do the quartz points or gemstones in the corners of my home, but also my property. And I still to this day, whenever I refresh those. I visualize like on Charmed when they would do a crystal grid to like trap a demon or something. I guess they would do. They like as soon as they put that last one in place, they would CG this like this grid thing over them, like this cage. And I'm like, I visualize that every single time I put up my wards again. Or on Supernatural where they will draw the symbols on the wall, and then usually they hit it with blood. I don't put bloody handprints on my walls. But you know, like an anointing oil, like a protection oil. So I'll draw a symbol and then slap my hand on it, and to me, in my mind, it lights up and puts a lovely little protective ward all over my house or my sacred space, because you could take things from TV too. You could take things from your childhood and TV.
You can. You absolutely can. Yeah. And I've definitely, at the last presidential election, I put some flags and signs and stuff in my front yard, and I didn't want anybody to mess with them. So I actually put hot foot powder around each of the signs and like on the edge, like the out front, because I'm like, nope, keep moving. We're not doing this. So and I don't use actual crystals, but I I visualize like a grid up and around my entire property. So and it's the same thing. It works. And people don't look at me too crazy. Although I did have a neighbor that was, I think he was like, what is she doing? And I'm like, I'm just anointing my political signs. Leave me alone. But I have like selenite by the front door. I've got a horseshoe by my front door. Stuff like that. Which I don't think there's nothing dark about all that. So, you know.
Have you by any chance seen the movie Weapons yet?
Not yet. Do I need to watch this?
Yeah, it's really good. I'm trying to think of, since you haven't seen it, and for those who haven't seen it. So it's still in some theaters out there, but we managed to get it. It was one of those we wanted to go see in theaters. We just never got around to it. So it's on pay-per-view right now. And Colin was like, all right, I'll pay $20. He's like, we were going to go to theaters and see it anyway, so we'll pay $20. So it's amazing. First of all, I will say that. It's a horror movie. It is amazing. And I'm very curious about so I will say this. They did bring a supernatural element into the movie.
Yeah.
And I want to try it.
Okay.
As they bring this supernatural, baneful element into it, I'm watching it. And everybody, you know, because Colin and Gabe and I, my son, we all watched it.
Yeah.
But when the supernatural element starts, I immediately go, oh, what? Is that true? Can I do that? Oh my God. Is it hold on, let me think about this. Let me think. Okay, if you do the thing, and then the thing, and then you're like, oh, and there's the thing, and oh, I think that could work. Hold on. I might. So like, I just immediately started going crazy because I'm like, oh my God, I love it. That's fucked up, and I want to at least put that in my witchy tool belt.
Yeah.
I hope to never have to use it. Fair. And of course it would never happen, because this is how it was a movie. It was Hollywood. And what this woman did, I believe could not have the same effects, because of course they took it like really supernatural and went crazy with it. Yeah. But I was like, I feel like they may have consulted an actual witch on this one.
They may have.
I'm very curious. Like, I'm just going to file it away for later. Yeah. I hope I never have to use it. But then I'm like, I need to know the ingredients she had, too. Yeah. Like, I may have to go to Reddit. Maybe I'll go to Reddit for it and see if anyone figured it out. Because, it's really good. It's a really cool... I mean, it's horrible. It's the whole basis of the movie.
Oh, you know, damn. But, okay. All right.
But it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, and I think that's the thing too, is like, you hope to never have to use war water, or you hope to never have to put a bitch in a jar. And it's not like we sound very cavalier about it, but probably the number of times we've both done it, we could count maybe on two hands. I mean,
Yeah, I'd say.
Like
I have a lot of people in jars in my backyard.
you do,
Their
I know.
energies,
Yeah.
but no, I think I don't think it's not two hands worth.
No. No, I mean that's what I mean. Like
No.
between the both
Yeah.
of us, like both of
Yeah.
us together. No.
Yeah.
So, but it's just fun to say put bitch in a jar because it's like, and I think that there's something to be said too for having that energy. It's like I'm gonna put that bitch in a jar, and you don't necessarily do it, but like your energy and your intention is there to just be like, you know what, you need to stop with your shenanigans. I don't want any more of this.
And that can be done for a person, but it also, I can remember a time when I knew something, like something had shifted and I knew, but I could not figure out who it was. And, you know, being such a public figure as well with the podcast and the business, I mean, I could have just said something wrong. It, you know, quote unquote wrong in a podcast episode that someone took extreme offense to and then was like, I'm gonna send some shit her way. So I've done stuff too where it's like I don't know who it is, but these are the shifts that it caused in me.
Yeah.
And so therefore I need to cleanse those away, cut them away, protect myself from that person putting, you know, reconnecting to me. And then usually I will do a return to sender just because, so you don't even have to necessarily know the exact person in order to just cut and banish negative energy, or if you even think someone has like actually cast against you.
Right. Agreed. Agreed. And then on the other side of dark magic, we have a lot of like secretive and shadow work and all of that. So, and I think that kind of trips into the dark moon territory, which is always very fun.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. So yeah, right now especially is a great time for shadow work. So that, I think we've talked about it here on the podcast, like that comes from Charles, wow. I just almost said Charles Jung. I'm like, that's not his name, Carl Jung.
Yes.
So maybe I was doing the anglicized version of his name. The idea of like the shadow self and the parts of ourselves that we don't let out. And eclipse seasons always bring that to the surface. We see the unseen. And I think this is fresh in my mind because I was working on the divination launch listings and that shadow work deck in there. You know, it's like it is kind of confronting your inner quote unquote demons. Like they're not demons, but you know what I mean. But yeah, you know, I think that falls under a lot of the dark magic because it's kind of like under the cover of the shadows.
Yeah. I completely agree. And it's also it's the parts of you that society, you know, or your parents or whatever have said, oh, no, we don't talk about that. We don't. So that's what's happened. And that's why we do call them demons, is because you push them down and you push them down and it's just like a wound that doesn't get any kind of care, you know? So it's going to fester and gangrene and then one day it'll come exploding out when you don't want it to.
Kind of a gross analogy there, but you're not wrong.
I've been watching a lot of horror movies lately.
I love it.
Spooky season.
Yes, it is.
So, but yeah, that's why you want to acknowledge them. And
it's true.
I think it was a thing of this. Like, I was talking with my business coach the other day, and she was asking me something. She was like, why don't you just say what it is? Say it for what it is. And I was like, oh, why do you do that? And so that's what shadow work is like, you may want to do something, but you don't know why you want to do it or why you don't want to do it. And when you get down to it, you know, she was like, say what it is, say it. And I was like, okay. And then I, you know, basically word vomited. And she was like, see, don't you feel freer now that you've admitted that that's what's behind that action, that behavior that you're doing. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of nice because you just exhale out and you're like, oh my God, it's not this little gremlin eating me up anymore. Like, you know?
Yeah. And I found, I don't know about you, but I found that the more shadow work I do, the easier it is to do it. It's like less scary over time.
Yes. It's the starting that a lot of people start and then they face that first shadow like eye to eye and they go, nope.
Yep. I'm going to go back over here. Yep.
Shove it back down.
Yeah. Oh, that's so real. I love that. I'm glad she pushes you. Like, I think a lot of times we need that push or that prompting to just be like, no, like, let's call it as it is. So, and there's so much freedom in that. Yeah. I love that.
I love shadow working, and I love telling people to shadow work. And like, if you start to get to some shit, like therapy. Yeah. Yep. Go to therapy.
Yes.
Get someone to help you. I think everyone should be in therapy.
Oh yeah. At least like intermittently. Like, I've definitely had times when I'm in therapy, and I'm not in therapy right now, but I am so pro therapy, and it's like I will go back as soon as I need it again because things happen. And you need that safe space to share that and be yourself, you know, somebody that you're not friends with, not related to, anything like that. And they've got the tools and the skills to support you through it, which is huge.
Yes.
So, yes, cast spells, do magic, and then go to therapy as well. Like, use all the tools at your resource.
Yes.
I mean, seriously. Yeah. Yeah. What else?
I do you know, because is there a difference between a curse and a hex? That is a question I meant to Google before we did this, and then I just forgot to, because I do get asked that sometimes. Like, is there a difference between a curse or a hex, or is it just a different way of saying it?
I feel like it's a different way of saying it, but I also feel like, I don't know, I think it's a different way of saying it. And also, there's something to, like, actually putting the ritual behind things. So in my head, and I don't know if this is right or not, but in my head, a hex feels like something that you sat down and you intentionally did. Whereas a curse could just be something like, I hate this person and I hope they slip and fall on the ice, you know, whatever. Yeah. That could be like a curse, right? So, I don't know. That's a good question.
Because then there's a jinx, too, which to me, that would be like this person, I hope they slip and fall, and like that's just it. See, I'm wondering, because in my mind, either a curse or hex, I think, to me, are interchangeable. Yeah. But they require a lot of energy and maintenance. Yeah. And that's just a lot to me.
Which I think it also depends on your belief system, too, because I know that, like, there's Italian folk practitioners that it's like they don't want to say thank you to a compliment because that's putting the evil eye on you. Like, it's jealousy. Yeah. Like,
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, like, in my head, there's like little, and maybe that's more of a jinx. Jinx to me feels like it's bad luck. Like, yeah. Ooh, that seam on your socks on the toe, it's always going to annoy the hell out of you. Yeah. You know, stuff like that. But I don't know. They might just be different words for the same thing.
That's a great question for people. So, like, as you're listening to this, wherever you're listening to it, I want to know your opinion, like down in the comments, because I think I was proofreading something. I was proofreading something the other day, and the word curse was in there. Yeah. And I took it out and replaced it with hex. And that's the seed that got planted in my head.
Interesting.
Because I was just like, I wonder why I did. Like, to me, they're interchangeable, but I almost wanted to make sure that people, whatever, I don't even know what I was proofreading now. Yeah. But whatever it was, I wanted to make sure people, because to me, hexing is also witchier.
Yeah, it sounds witchier.
Like, but a curse is old school. I don't know.
Yeah, a curse feels old school. Like, it almost feels like biblical. Like, the plagues of Egypt was like a curse. Or like a curse on your family.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I don't know. Yeah, y'all tell us what you think.
Yeah.
Because, and that's the thing is like we can come and bring these subjects to the podcast or to our other, parts of our work, and we're still learning, So it's a it's why it's called a practice, is you really are practicing, you really are learning, you're adding to the body of knowledge that you use all the time. So let us know. Maybe we have like cursing or hexing experts in our audience.
But I have been told, or I have had people challenge when I say I put a bitch in a jar. I've had people online be like, "Oh, well, that's a hex," and I'm like, "No, it's not."
Yeah.
Because I don't. But see, that's the difference. Like, if you're putting a person into a jar to protect your boundaries, like, it's all about intention. So if you're putting a person into a jar and then you're adding things to cause them pain or harm, then to me that's a hex. Yes.
Yeah.
But if you are putting a person in a jar and you're just like, this is it, you're going in the jar energetically, you no longer have an effect on me, I'm putting up this energetic boundary, then that's just a very intricate protection spell.
Yeah. I agree. And also, like, sometimes, look, I have often said karma's only a bitch if you are, and sometimes you put a bitch in a jar, or in my case, I put somebody in a freezer, and it not only froze what they were doing to me, it actually, they just kind of froze. They just stopped progressing overall. It was like, oh. So, like, on the outside, that sounds like a hex, but I literally was just like, I want this person to stop what they're doing as it impacts me. Like, and I'm very specific. And then, like, I caught up on like whatever they were doing, just like by accident, friend of a friend kind of thing. And I was like, oh, they went back to that partner they were talking about leaving, and they stayed in that job they were talking about moving on from. And it's like, oh, okay. So yeah.
Isn't Magick fun?
It is.
Magick is fun.
It's just like, watch out. But also, anytime that happens, it's just kind of like, oh yeah, don't fuck with me, I'm a badass witch.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, love it.
Yeah, and I love teaching too about things like blood magic, sex magic. All of that are deemed by some witches as dark magic.
Right.
Like, oh, and I'm like, now if you add a drop of blood to your spell, that's a part of your life force. That's anchoring the spell to you.
Yeah.
So be careful, because you're anchoring that spell to your life force, literally the blood running through your veins.
Yeah.
So just think about blood magic before you do it, and think about sex magic before you do it, because that is one of the most powerful ways to raise energy. So think about the consequences.
Right.
But yeah, I love teaching about all the kinds of quote unquote baneful, horrible magic that we shouldn't be doing. Oh my God. And I'm like, nah, do it.
It's fine. Or don't. Like, either way. Like, I personally have never been in a situation where I wanted to put blood or hair or fingernails into any sort of ritual. That's my experience. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It doesn't mean it's bad. I just haven't needed to. Does that mean I won't do it in the future? Doesn't mean that. Just not there yet.
But the more you talk about it, it's just like shadow work. You said the more you do shadow work, the easier it becomes. The more that we at least talk about it.
Oh, for sure.
The more information that gets put out there. You know, it's almost like in the 90s when nobody wanted to talk about sex, period. And so STDs, like, and teen pregnancies were like fucking crazy because we were just told, don't do it.
Right.
Like, we don't do it and we don't talk about it. And it's like, okay, maybe if we talk about it, we take away the scariness and the misinformation about it. And that's what makes it then you can decide for yourself if you want to do blood magic or sex magic or necromancy or whatever the hell it is. You decide for yourself. But if nobody talks about it, then there's just misinformation. You just think it's a horrible thing.
It's true. And it's so like mysterious, and then it starts falling under that heading of dark magic, bad magic. And it's like, no, it's really not. Like, it's okay. It's just not. It's not. Just
And then if you're curious about it, but nobody's
yeah.
talking about it, then shame.
Right,
Like,
right.
that begins to code it like, oh, why do I want to try to do this? This sounds cool as shit, but everybody's told me it's bad. And then, so
Yeah.
then you code it in shame, and then it becomes a shadow. And then,
Right. And then you got to do shadow work around that. Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, and in all seriousness, like if you have past trauma or if you have a fear of blood or something like that, like
Yeah.
there's no reason to push yourself to do any sort of magic. But if you're curious, like get out there and try it. You know? Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty freaking cool.
No, I remember when I taught about it, because we ran down a list in
Yeah.
the coven about like quote unquote baneful magic.
Yeah.
And I taught about all of it just to give people information, not in a do it or don't do it way. I teach very much in a neutral zone. Here's the information, do with it what you will.
Yeah.
And I can remember 2 people specifically in the coven. One practiced sex magic and one practiced blood magic. And they came back into the coven and they were like, it was the coolest thing ever. Like, my spell was so powerful. I never would have, like, I was so scared to do it. But then I researched it more and I took away that fear and the taboo. And they were like, and it was 2 separate people. They were like,
so
it
cool.
changed my life. And I was like, yes, that's what magic is about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I can tell you from personal experience, if you need a creative boost, a financial boost, an abundance boost, get to practicing some sex magic.
Yep.
So just because I haven't tried blood magic doesn't mean I have not practiced sex magic, because yes, I have. So,
Yeah.
you know. And, you know, of course, like, consent is sexy and all the things.
Yes.
So, you know, make sure you're, you know, not harming anyone else in the process. But, you know, yeah, it's real.
No. Good stuff. I love.
I know.
Yeah.
know. So I think the overarching theme here is that, you know, there's really not dark magic. There's
Nope.
shadow magic. There's secretive magic. There's baneful protective magic, sex magic, blood magic, all of that. But there needs to be no shame, no judgment on any of those.
And what works for you may not work for another person, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, agreed.
Yep.
Totally. Well, I have a card for us. You ready?
yeah.
Okay. After a freak accident / bug bite / cosmic event. These are 3 very different things.
Those are, yeah.
Oh, okay. So after something happens, you become your town's next superhero. What's your excuse when people start to notice you disappear whenever there's crime to fight?
Oh. Okay. So I'm now a superhero and I disappear every time there's crime to fight. We can't just tell people, like, oh, I'm Superwoman.
I mean, I would tell the people that I'm closest with and just
That's
be
true.
like, you know what? If I've disappeared, this is what I'm doing. But, you know, anybody else, I would just be like, oh, I had a spell to cast, or I just go home and feed
that's
my
what I was
dog.
thinking. Yeah. That was like I was seeking shelter in my home just in
Yeah.
case the shit hit the fan.
Yeah.
You know, like,
see, there you
that's-
go. But I'm a big proponent for superheroes should definitely tell the people closest to them what is going on, because it always comes back on them. Like Aunt May always had to deal with Peter Parker's Spider-Man fallout. And yeah, I think it's dumb to hide it from people.
Well, yeah, somehow the supervillains always find out.
Yeah. So guess what?
Like,
Just tell your important people and anybody else you're
yep.
playing with your animals or your grandma's on fire. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I love that.
Oh my gosh. So silly. Well, thank you so much for listening. Please like, subscribe, share, comment on this episode too. Let us know your opinion on hexes, curses, jinxes, or anything else, any other term that you've heard used. Follow us on Instagram at Two Witches Talking. Email us, especially your spooky stories, at twowitchestalkingpod, P-O-D, at gmail.com. And come hang out with us on Patreon, Two Witches Talking, or on YouTube under the Ink Goddess Creations channel. And just look for podcasts, and we're right there. So thanks again for listening, and take care of yourselves, and cast with care and with fun. And yeah, tap into that childlike whimsy and remind yourself what you said on the playground.
Yes.
I love that. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye.